Hi everyone, my name is Anita Sharma and I welcome you all on Inkpot Hub Media. Dedication, determination, and perseverance, these words hold true for our today's story. A lot of effort and hard work are needed to receive the Bestseller Award from Ivy Publishing and BK Bidla Distinguished Researcher Award for Social Science and Management in 2019. I am sure this has been a very long journey for Professor Arpan Kar, who is currently working as an associate professor in the Department of Management Studies at IIT Delhi. He humbly accepted my request to interact with Inkpot Hub Media to share his journey so far, his major decisions in life, and some unknown facts. And before moving further, I request you all to please subscribe to this channel to receive further notifications and write your comments in the comment box down below. Now let's welcome Professor Arpan Kar. Professor Arpan Kar, over to you.
Thanks for inviting me, Anita. Sure. So I'll briefly share. I started my journey with a graduation in engineering because that's something that we tend to do first of all whenever we are thinking of a little safer career option. So after doing my class 11, 12, I ventured into engineering. There also it was related to computer science, IT and all. But after that, I ventured into joining the FPM program in XLRI when I was only 21 years old. I still had not figured out what I wanted to do in life. And fundamentally, I wanted to explore research predominantly because I liked doing something different. I wanted to always do something different. I always like innovating. So fundamentally, that was the driver when I joined XLRI at an age. Most people haven't figured out what exactly to do with their career. And I did that very early at a stage. So in my journey, XLRI as a campus, of course, is fantastic. It allows you to network with a lot of people. And because of the networks I developed there, and because of all my batchmates who joined the industry, the initial, thought process was that when I was doing my FPM, after doing my entire focus was I should be joining the industry. So I started with IBM Research Lab, Cognizant Consulting. But then another realization hit me, especially when I was in, Cognizant Consulting. The realization was that many of the colleagues with whom I was interacting very frequently, they were trying to do a PhD.
Okay.
Just to shift to the other side. I thought that probably when everything here is when everything here is kind of achieved, probably it's not that, something that motivates many people. And that's what kind of drove me to explore maybe an academic career. Another thing, I like working for myself. I like working a lot. I'm a huge workaholic, but then I like working for myself. I don't like being told that this is the direction you have to run. I would like to run, but then I would like to choose the direction I would want to run. So predominantly, these are the reasons that after this brief, couple of years of stint in corporate, I basically decided that, okay, fine. I think I should start exploring academia. So at that point of time, I applied in 3 places. I was also still very young. Been around 27, 28, I think. I applied to Kozhikode, applied to Lucknow, and applied to Rohtak. Rohtak gave the first call, and immediately I confirmed that I'll be joining there. But immediately after that, Lucknow and Kozhikode also matured, but by that time I had joined Rohtak, so I thought that, okay, fine. Let me, since I've joined there, let me try to meet my commitments. Let me stay here for a couple of years and then figure out what I want to do. So I started my journey in Rohtak. And then subsequently, after 2 years, predominantly due to family pressure, because Rohtak is a place, most of the IIMs are at a place where there is no other social life. So I thought that, okay, maybe now is the time I should start thinking of other applications. So in India, I applied to IIT Delhi. And outside India, in Hong Kong and in Malaysia, I applied to 2 other universities. So I got the first offer in IIT Delhi and the other 2 came little later. So I joined IIT Delhi. That's my brief journey, how it happened. It's a mix of accidents and intentions put together.
That's a unique combination. In fact, like so things are coming to your place, and you are taking it as it is. You are not waiting for the next option. So I think it's a very interesting thing to learn from you, that whatever is coming to your way, take it as it is. Yeah. So I've been following your research. Like you are a case writer. You write in a very big eminent journals. Could you please share something about your best experience so far?
See, writing was always a passion. The reason, there is also another background. Most people don't know about me is that I created a blog which was in 2005, and I had been writing there. It grew pretty well established. That was my tryst with writing basically. And then when I joined my business education, I started writing a business blog. So personal blog transferred to business blog, and then that became big. So my first cases were all on my personal blogs. Because I have the data, because I set it up, I have all the data in my analytics platforms and all. So that was the journey in terms of case writing. Many things in case writing, because in IIT Delhi, typically, they're not considered. So the ranking or the evaluation parameter in IIT Delhi, after a couple of cases on my blogs, I never looked at case writing seriously. It just happened that one of those cases became so popular globally that it became a bestseller. But there are 2-3 cases which I wrote, 4 cases I think I wrote. So out of that, 2 cases, Business Fundas and TikTok, they became really popular. So I did not really focus on writing case studies, but I always focused on research papers. So initial days, my research was not that great, to be very frank, because when I did my PhD, those days there was no focus on publishing. Especially in teaching systems like IIMs and XLRIs and MDIs, the importance of research came in much later. It was only when NRF ranking and all came up, then teaching institutions felt that, okay, we need to get into the gear of publishing good research papers. I enjoyed research even then. But my journey of research became a lot better, once we joined IIT Delhi, which is a much more research-focused culture. And that basically, the culture, I saw people around me, there are people in a department with 25,000 citations. Most of the professors would be having 3,000-4,000 citations. So automatically you are kind of in a, you would want to establish yourself. You wouldn't want to be looked down upon. So if there are other professors who have got 3,000-4,000 citations, you would want to meet that target very soon. So that basically becomes a, kind of peer pressure. One thing is the peer pressure. Of course, the second is the love. The love was always there. The love was there, the peer pressure helped it. So that basically was, kind of my movement towards becoming established as a researcher. So in 2017, what happened? Like I said, I always say yes to whatever that comes my way. That way I'm majorly an opportunist. In 2017, there was a very good opportunity that we could host a big conference, very big major conference. So there was this IFIP, International Federation of Information Processing, their i3 conference, which focuses on e-business, e-services and e-citizenships, e-society. That conference happened. So we decided to host it in our department. So when we were hosting the conference, I took the lead in that. And that was a situation. Suddenly I realized that there are more than 100 papers and we have to do all the editing and all the reviews for all those papers and get all those for such a established platform, because i3, this is one of the best conferences globally, one of the top 10 conferences globally, and if we are going to host it, that first time it was happening in India, so we have to ensure that it reaches a particular level. So while we were doing all the reviewing for i3, along with that, the next opportunity that came was I became a guest editor as an extension of select papers from I3 that will go into Information System Frontiers,
Okay.
which is also a ABDCA or ABS 3-star kind of a journal. So I think probably that was my most amazing experience when I started growing as a researcher and people started noticing me globally, that okay, this guy sitting in India, because sitting in India and doing research is not easy, because there is so much of noise that happens. A lot of very low quality papers come out from India, and in that noise, typically even good quality papers tend to get lost in the noise, and publishing from India becomes very, very difficult. In that journey, probably what has happened is that I realized that people started noticing me. I started developing collaborations, and I started working with reputed researchers. And slowly, that journey started established. It was a lot of hard work, organizing conferences, handling logistics. We don't have support staff, but I had a great support team. But it was a major thing that changed overnight and created a little bit of presence, a small speck, very small speck in an ocean. But that was, the first,
So you're.
I don't know what to call it, but that's what happened.
No, I can feel that the kind of expressions are there. I can feel the essence of that outcome, which has created a huge impact in your life, which is really, really grateful. So when success comes, there comes always a painful experience. Could you share one painful experience wherein we can understand that how pains are to be handled during the entire journey?
Success as a researcher is probably 1-2%, like you might have heard that quote. Genius is 1%, inspiration and 99% perspiration. Success as a researcher is purely that. So right now, probably I've got 130, 140 acceptances, but I've also got about 400 rejections. So it takes a lot to digest all the rejection, keep working, fine-tuning the manuscript, give it time, shuffle from one manuscript to another. But the process of continuously fine-tuning and developing that pipeline, despite so many rejections, that happens. Initial days, I would probably get one acceptance out of maybe 12 to 15 rejections. Now, as I've grown as a researcher, I've got more and more established my understanding of research, how to craft a decent manuscript, how to develop a good research paper. Those things have also, developed over time. So now these days I get maybe 1 out of 5, hits. I get maybe 5 rejections and 1 hits. So that's improved. But that journey of moving from that 1:15 to 1:5, that's a pretty painful journey. Most of the people who get lost at that 1:15 rejection rate and never reach that 1:5. But that perseverance is important, that pain is important, so that you understand the value of what is to be achieved. I
can totally relate with your experiences, because when I was doing my PhD, I know that the rejections are really, really painful. But then I had a very strong support system, and we also celebrated our failures. So one rejection means one party, so that we can come out of it very quickly and get ready for the another submission and another rejection, and then the circle goes on until the acceptance happens. So I can totally relate with your experience. Okay, so what would you prefer, IIT or IIM for your further move?
Both the places have got its own strengths and weaknesses. From a student perspective, it's different. From a faculty perspective, it's different. So I'll take the perspective of a faculty now. IIM as a system is predominantly less system driven. What I mean is that if tomorrow the director changes, the agenda of the institute can be completely changed. Whatever is the architecture within which the system operates, whether it's the focus towards research, focus towards getting consulting projects, focus towards training, the entire agenda of the institute changes with the director. The norms can change with the director. Now, in one hand, it makes the institute more flexible and more,
entrepreneurial,
prone to entrepreneurial. But on the other side, for people like me who are more research centric, I think IIT system is a better system. The reason is, for research, typically there is a long timeline in which a result comes. What you invest for today, The result will come after 3 years. In an IIM system, you cannot really foresee what is going to be the prerogative of the administration after 3-4 years. So there are pros and cons. I mean, IIT as a system, because there are so many different departments, everybody are bound by similar kind of rules. So it has to be system driven. And you can do projects, you can do consulting projects or research projects of a scale which is not really thinkable in an IIM. The scale in which academic projects, research projects can be done, typically IIMs would not have administrative infrastructure to manage such projects. Which I mean is, in IIM Rohtak, I got a 25 lakh project with one of my colleagues who was there in IIM Rohtak at that point of time. Both of us jointly, bid for the project. We got it. But that guy shifted to IIT Delhi, and I also followed that friend of mine. Now, the thing is that 25 lakh project in an IIT ecosystem was not big. But in an IIM system, 25 lakh project is a huge thing. In an IIT system, you don't have challenges in terms of officially administrating the funds that come in, because there are set practices and processes. In an IIM system, what do you do with the money? There is no auditing. How do you handle audits? How do you ensure that there are protocols for, expending the money? So those are not developed in an IIM system. So it becomes very difficult to go and invest in high risk, high investment kind of projects, sponsored projects as well as research. It's very difficult that way. So for me, I think I'm more suitable for the IIT system.
So a lot of serious stuff. Now I know a lot of students must be very much interested in knowing who is Professor Arpan Garg. Can you please tell 3 things which your students doesn't know about you?
Well, I'm hugely an introvert. I don't interact much with people unless it is work related things. Most of the times I interact with people is basically because of work. That's the second thing. I really appreciate students. I like mentoring students who are very high in terms of focus towards delivery and focus towards perseverance. I don't mind working overnight. Like sometimes I would even work throughout the entire night to develop the manuscript, to help them establish themselves. And some of my students have done really good. So some of them, like I can tell you that one of my students who have worked with me and will be hopefully bringing out a paper very soon in an A category journal also in telecom. He has joined MIT now.
Oh, wow.
So he came to me when he was only 16. He worked with me for 2 years, and now at the age of 18 he's joining MIT. There are other guys who joined NUS. There are people who have joined other schools like Indian University, Kelly University. My PhD scholars who are focused, I ensured that they publish a lot and they join good institutions. For example, Purva. You have worked briefly with Purva. So she is somebody I spent a huge amount of time with. So I really like, very deliberative, oriented, focused students, and I keep pushing them a lot. So the ones I keep pushing them is because I see that there is a lot of hope in them. And the ones whom I don't push, probably yes.
Okay, this is a very, I think, big insight for them.
So I think that's one thing they might not be knowing about me. And third thing is that I'm a huge foodie. I like tasting and experimenting a lot. Anything and everything, doesn't matter.
Okay, I think that's the biggest reason you moved from Rohtak to Delhi. Which TV show you like?
I like a lot of rom-coms like How I Met Your Mother, things like Big Bang Theory, sitcoms like 24, then Prison Break. I like those also. Like I can identify myself with Ted Mosby or Leonard Hofstadter. I also like characters like, for example, Barney Stinson, things like that.
Typical FPM thing.
Yeah. So
really glad that your story is very inspiring, and I'm sure many people are going to hear and learn from your journey and try to follow the trailblazer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me today.
And never miss another update